Hello and welcome to Amazing Aircraft. In this video, we are going to talk about the Dassault-Breguet Super Étendard. This French carrier-borne strike fighter aircraft has seen action in several conflicts around the world. How did this aircraft come to be? What are its main features? And what are its combat achievements? Are you ready to dive into its story? Then buckle up and let's go. The Falklands War, or Malvinas War, was a brief but undeclared war that erupted on April 2, 1982, when Argentina invaded and occupied the Falkland Islands, a British overseas territory in the South Atlantic. Argentina had long claimed sovereignty over the islands, which it called Islas Malvinas. The war lasted for 74 days and ended with the British victory on June 14, 1982, after a fierce naval and air campaign and a land invasion of the islands. The war claimed the lives of about 650 Argentine and 255 British service members and left hundreds more wounded. It also had significant political, diplomatic, and military consequences for both countries and the international community. One of the decisive factors in the war was the Super Étendard, a small, single-engined, mid-winged aircraft with an all-metal structure, designed by Dassault-Breguet for the French Navy. As an advanced development of the Étendard 4M, the Super Étendard featured a more powerful engine, a new wing design, and improved avionics. Its sleek design and robust capabilities made it a formidable weapon in naval warfare. The Super Étendard boasted a length of 14.31 meters and a wingspan of 9.60 meters. With a height of 3.86 meters and a wing area of 28.4 square meters, it was designed for agility and precision. The aircraft's empty weight was 6,500 kilograms, and its maximum takeoff weight reached 12,000 kilograms. Powered by a single Snecma Atar 8K50 turbojet engine, the Super Étendard could achieve a maximum speed of Mach 1.3 and had a combat radius of 850 kilometers. Its service ceiling was an impressive 13,700 meters. Argentina bought 14 Super Étendards from France in 1979, after the United States had imposed an arms embargo on Argentina due to its human rights violations during the Dirty War. Argentina also bought 5 Exocet missiles, which were delivered between August and November 1981. Argentina based its Super Étendards at the Rio Grande Air Base in Tierra del Fuego, the southernmost tip of South America. The Super Étendards made their first combat sortie on May 2, 1982, but had to abort the mission due to refueling problems. 2 days later, on May 4th, 2 Super Étendards, guided by a Lockheed P-2H Neptune, each launched one Exocet at the British destroyer HMS Sheffield, causing a massive fire and killing 20 crew members. Sheffield was the first British warship to be sunk by enemy action since World War II. On May 25th, another attack by 2 Super Étendards resulted in 2 missiles hitting the merchant ship Atlantic Conveyor, which was carrying helicopters and other supplies. The ship was engulfed in flames, and 12 crew members died. The loss of the Atlantic Conveyor deprived the British of vital air assets and logistic support. The Super Étendards also attempted to attack the British aircraft carrier HMS Invincible on May 30th, but their last remaining Exocet was shot down by a Sea Dart missile fired by HMS Exeter. The Super Étendards then returned to their base and did not take part in further combat operations. The Super Étendards were the most effective weapon in the Argentine arsenal, significantly impacting the course of the war by inflicting heavy damage and casualties on the British fleet. The Super Étendards remained in service with the Argentine Navy until 2013, when they were retired. The French Navy retired its Super Étendards in 2016 and replaced them with the Dassault Rafale. In 1983, France loaned 5 Super Étendards to Iraq, which was waiting for the delivery of Mirage F-1s equipped with Exocet anti-ship missiles. Iraq used the Super Étendards to launch Exocet missiles at Iranian oil terminals, tankers, and merchant ships in the Persian Gulf, as part of its strategy to disrupt Iran's oil exports and economy. The Super Étendards carried out 34 attacks in 1984, hitting 19 ships and damaging several others. The super-attendard pilots faced many challenges during their missions, such as flying at low altitudes to avoid radar detection, refueling in midair, navigating over hostile waters, and evading Iranian air defenses and fighters. An Iranian F-4 shot down one super-attendard on April 2, 1984, while another was damaged by an Iranian F-14 on August 7, 1984. France's loan of the super-attendard to Iraq raised ethical and legal questions, such as whether France violated the international arms embargo on Iraq and whether it was complicit in Iraq's aggression and human rights violations. The 5 super-attendards loaned to Iraq were supposed to be returned to France in 1985, after Iraq received its Mirage F-1s. However, only 4 were returned, as one was lost in combat. The 4 returned super-attendards were reportedly in poor condition and were later sold to Argentina in 1993. The French Navy received 71 super-attendards in 1978, and the first squadron, Flotille 11F, became operational in February 1979. The super-attendards replaced the attendard 4s in the strike role. They could operate from both of France's aircraft carriers at that time, Clemenceau and Foch. The super-attendards were equipped with the Thomson CSF Agave radar, which enabled them to launch the Exocet anti-ship missile, the main weapon of the super-attendard. The super-attendards could also carry conventional or laser-guided bombs and a nuclear bomb called the AN-52. The super-attendards also had a buddy air refueling pod, which allowed them to refuel each other in flight, extending their range and endurance. The super-attendards saw their first combat action in Lebanon during Operation Oliphant in 1983. The French Navy was part of a multinational peacekeeping force that intervened in the Lebanese Civil War. The super-attendards bombed and destroyed Syrian positions after they fired artillery rounds at the French peacekeepers. They also attacked an Islamic Amal training camp in Baalbek after a terrorist attack on French paratroopers in Beirut. In the 1990s, the super-attendards underwent a major upgrade program called the SEM, which improved their avionics, radar, and weapons. The SEM upgrade included a new computer, a new Thomson CSF anemone radar with nearly double the range, a new self-defense electronic warfare system, a new inertial navigation system with GPS, a new cockpit with HOTAS controls and night vision compatibility, and a new laser designator pod called the Damocles. The SEM upgrade also enabled the super-attendards to carry a new nuclear missile called the ASMP, which had a ramjet engine and a variable yield warhead. The SEM super-attendards participated in several NATO operations in the 1990s and 2000s, flying from the aircraft carrier Charles de Gaulle, which replaced Clemenceau and Foch in 2001. The SEM super-attendards flew 400 combat missions over Serbia during the Kosovo War in 1999 as part of Operation Allied Force. They also flew missions over Afghanistan from 2001 to 2011 as part of Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Heracles. They provided air support to French and Allied ground troops and used their laser designator pods to illuminate targets for the Dassault Rafales. The SEM super-attendards also flew missions over Libya in 2011 as part of Operation Harmattan and Operation Unified Protector. They performed interdiction and reconnaissance missions and worked with the Rafales to strike targets. The SEM super-attendards were retired from French service on July 12, 2016, after 38 years of service and more than 22,000 flight hours. They were replaced by the Rafale M, a more advanced and stealthy fighter that can perform multiple roles. The super-attendards' last operational deployment was in support of Operation Shamal against Islamic State militants in Iraq and Syria. The super-attendards performed their final launch from Charles de Gaulle on March 16, 2016, ahead of their final withdrawal from service in July. The retirement of the SEM super-attendards marked the end of an era for the French Navy, as the aircraft had been a cornerstone of naval aviation for nearly 4 decades. The super-attendards' legacy is marked by its versatility and effectiveness in various combat scenarios. It demonstrated its capabilities in anti-ship warfare, ground attack missions, and providing close air support. The aircraft's ability to carry a range of armaments, including the Exocet missile, conventional bombs, and nuclear weapons, highlighted its adaptability to different mission requirements. Throughout its service life, the Super Étendard underwent continuous upgrades to enhance its performance and maintain its relevance in modern warfare. The SEM program, which introduced advanced avionics, radar systems, and weapons integration, was a testament to this commitment, ensuring the aircraft remained competitive alongside newer generation fighters. The Super Étendard's involvement in high-profile conflicts, such as the Falklands War and the Iraq-Iran War, cemented its reputation as a formidable strike fighter. Its use by both the Argentine and Iraqi forces showcased the aircraft's export potential and versatility in different operational environments. As the French Navy transitioned to the more advanced Rafale M, the Super Étendard's contributions were honored and remembered. The Rafale M, with its state-of-the-art technology and multi-role capabilities, represents the future of French naval aviation. However, the Super Étendard's legacy lives on, reminding us of its significant role in shaping modern naval warfare. That's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, remember to like, share, and subscribe. The sky is not the limit, it's just the beginning. Thanks for watching and see you next time.